I have been reorganizing and restructuring AOL, changing the strategy and rebuilding it from scratch in the worst economy in a generation. Randy Falco. Many, if not most, Americans can imagine a fate worse than death, and it is a seemingly interminable process of dying. For them, it is frightening that politicians can find ways to interject themselves into this sad process. John C. Danforth. It was such a strange, tormenting feeling when your demon was pulling at the link between you. Part physical pain deep in the chest, part intense sadness and love. Everyone tested it when they were growing up, seeing how far they could pull apart, coming back with intense relief. Philip Pullman. They lived in such a deep state of feeling for each other, whether love or hate, that it surrounded them like the weather. Anita Amrizvani. My friends call me Peter, but you can call me Pan. Why should I call you Pan? Because Pan is a god, and I practically own you. Cameron Jace. When I try to write love, it only turns into horror, thinking about it with a clear head. Feeling such deep emotions to some other person you don't even know is truly a terrifying thing. I wonder if love isn't a manifestation of madness in some way. Jen Urabuchi. But was it love? The feeling of wanting to die beside her was clearly exaggerated. He had seen her only once before in his life. Was it simply the hysteria of a man who, aware deep down of his inaptitude for love, felt the self-deluding need to simulate it? Milan Kundera. How unnatural the imposed view, imposed by a puritanical ethos, that passionate love belongs only to the young, that people are dead from the neck down by the time they are 40, and that any deep feeling, any passion after that age, is either ludicrous or revolting. May Sarton. Her heart now pounding, a strange feeling of combined fear and happiness invaded her. She took a deep breath, her lungs filled with fresh air. An invigorating rush of electricity all over her body overcame her. So, is this how falling in love feels? She thought she knew the answer. Yasmin Tirado Chiodini. Without love of the land, conservation lacks meaning or purpose, for only in a deep and inherent feeling for the land can there be dedication in preserving it. Sigurd F. Olsen. Where do I always find enough courage for one last hope? I am the enemy of this indestructible, pitiless hope which prolongs and intensifies all my pain. I would like to lay hold of hope and strangle it once and for all. Anna Kavan. Oh, Mr. Thornton, I am not good enough. Not good enough. Don't mock my own deep feeling of unworthiness. Elizabeth Gaskell. I found the right card to send her. On the cover there were hearts, and it said, "Here's hoping you'll soon have something big and strong around the house to open those tight jar lids." Inside was a picture of a pipe wrench. Barbara Kingsolver. I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world, if they will patiently receive my medicine. William Shakespeare. I awoke on my stomach, naked and tangled in Travis Maddox's sheets. I kept my eyes closed, feeling his fingers caressing my arm and back. He exhaled with a deep, contented sigh, speaking in a hushed voice. I love you, Abby. I'm going to make you happy. I swear it. Jamie McGuire. Love as distinct from being in love is not merely a feeling. It is a deep unity, maintained by the will and deliberately strengthened by habit. C.S. Lewis. He was proud of her, he admired her, and at that moment he was conscious of life as something good, and he fell in love with her all over again. This consciousness of love took the form of a deep patience inhabiting him, rather than a feeling of cheer or even hope. Michael Stein. The sounding cataract haunted me like a passion. The tall rock, the mountain, and the deep and gloomy wood. An appetite, a feeling and a love that had no need of a remoter charm, by thought supplied, nor any interest unborrowed from the eye. William Wordsworth. There is this pain of love, you experience at some moments. It starts like a strange gnawing at your heart. It then slowly spreads to the whole body. You fall deeply into it. This feeling, Avijit Das. Love is not selfish or unkind, nor is it boastful or disloyal. Love is simply a deep feeling found within the heart that money cannot buy. April Haney. Anybody who's had children knows this feeling of deep love. It's a selfless love, and unconditional love, and it makes you kind of examine everything that has happened. Jennifer Lopez. Love transforms and love cures, but sometimes love builds deadly traps and can end up destroying a person who had resolved to give him or herself completely. What is this complex feeling which, deep down, is the only reason we continue to live, struggle, and improve? Paulo Coelho. This cruel boy tells me to dream one more time. Naoshi Arakawa. We love the beautiful and serene, but we have a feeling as deep as love for the terrible and dark. Edward Bulwer Lytton. A deadly monotony of Christian country life where there are no beggars to feed, no drunkards to credit, which are among the moral duties of Christians in cities, leads as naturally to the advent of what Methodists call revivals as did the backslidings of the people in those days. Cora May Harris. As they went out of the room, Rosa turned to look at Tommy and had an impulse to go back, to get into bed with him and just lie there for a while, feeling that deep longing, that sense of missing him desperately, that came over her whenever she held him sleeping in her arms. Michael Chabon. It wasn't exactly love at first sight, but it was deeper than that. A sense of belonging to a place I never knew I wanted but somehow always needed. It was a home that carried a heartbeat. Nikki Rowe. They were two happy lovers among the crowd, and they came to suspect that love could be a feeling that was more relaxing and deep than the happiness, wild but momentary, of their secret nights. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. That feeling that I could touch the sky. That's exactly how you make me feel. Charles Sheehan Miles. Your heart will always go where your mind wanders. Shannon L. Alder. Deep in my heart I'm concealing things that I'm longing to say. Scared to confess what I'm feeling, frightened you'll slip away. Madonna. No deep and strong feeling, such as we may come across here and there in the world, is unmixed with compassion. The more we love, the more the object of our love seems to us to be a victim. Boris Pasternak. Being an adult means never having to show your work on math problems. Dorinda Jones. I felt lucky to love him in that moment. I understood exactly why I could. I tucked that feeling deep down inside me because I was sure I would need it later. Cambria Hebert.